top priority question. Noel Greeley.
Now that a scheme has been out for funding new community centres, can you outline when the scheme will be open for applications?
Lascan Corla, and thank you, Deputy Grealish, for raising this matter. Community centres are the cornerstone, as you know too, of community life in towns, villages and parishes across the country. Since my appointment as Minister for Rural and Community Development, I have placed a key focus on the development of these important facilities. In 2022, I launched the new Community Centres Investment Fund. Grants up to 300,000 were available for the upgrade and the renovation of existing community centres. The types of work eligible for funding included upgrades to kitchen and toilet facilities, energy retrofitting, including the provision of new windows, doors and heating systems, works to improve disability access, other essential maintenance works such as fire safety improvements, repairs to roof and floors, etc. So there was a huge demand for the scheme, with over 1,000 applications received. All applications were subject, of course, to a competitive assessment, following which I was pleased to announce £45.5 million in funding for 858 successful projects. In addition to upgrading existing centres, I know that there are a number of areas in the country that would love to have new facilities for their communities and to enjoy them, and I'm fully committed to doing all I can to support them, and I know this is something you've raised with me on a number of occasions, Deputy. In this regard, I was delighted to secure £21 million in Budget 2023 for a new round of the Community Centre Investment Fund, which will be targeted specifically at new build community centres. So I'm pleased to inform the Deputy that details of the 2023 scheme are currently being developed, and I hope to issue a call for applications in March.
Thank you very much for your response. As you said, there are a lot of communities in cities, towns and villages across Ireland with no community centres or centralised location to gather and meet. I very much welcome the introduction of a new scheme that will enable communities across the country to build and refurbish community centres. As I stated in the Dáil before, Newcastle and Galway City is one such area with no community facilities. It is home to almost 6,000 residents. Under the chairmanship of Seamus Davey, a committee got together and raised, Minister, over €200,000. They acquired the site and secured planning permission for a much-needed centre for the area. It had the unanimous support of all public representatives. This is an excellent proposal to provide facility for this area in Galway City. I hope that the new scheme that you will be announcing shortly and opening in March, and that the Newcastle project will be successful in their application to secure funding.
Thank you, Deputy. Yes, the Newcastle is one that has been brought to my attention, Deputy, by yourself and indeed all your other Oireachtas colleagues. We've met on it, and I fully understand and appreciate the need in new communities to support them, because we need these facilities, because communities are very much at the heart of the areas, and it's so important that the community centre is there for them to meet and to, for sporting activities, etc. Now, what we're doing is we're targeting areas of population growth. What we'll be looking for are shovel-ready projects. And we hope, if you're thinking of applying, you need to have the plan and permission in place, because I'm not going to allocate money and then I wait 2 years before people get planning. That's not where we want to be. We need the plan in there, and we need the matched funding, and then ready to go. And that's what I want, ready to go, shovel ready.
Minister, thank you for your response, and I want to thank you for your support. You did meet with us and all the Oireachtas colleague members and since we raised this issue with you first, and I want to acknowledge the support of all the Oireachtas colleagues in Galway behind this project. I very much welcome the introduction of this much-needed scheme, which will unite communities and keep them active. Community centres are often the backbone of communities, but unfortunately there are areas with no community facilities exist. Newcastle and Galway City is one of these areas. 60% of the residents of this area are retired, and they have absolutely no facilities, either community, commercial or otherwise. I want to point out, Minister, and as you said there, Minister, the Newcastle Combined Association have advanced plans. The project is shovel ready. Once funding has been secured. and I look forward to welcome you to Galway, Minister, to turn the sod on this facility in Newcastle if funding can be approved for this much needed facility.
Thank you, Deputy. And as I said, I met all the Oireachtas members on this issue. And now there's only just, you know, you're telling me about Newcastle. It seems to tick a lot of boxes, but it has to go through an assessment process. And, you know, it's a competitive process because I'm sure there'll be plenty of demand for this particular fund that, with 21 million in it. It takes a lot of money to build a community centre, as we all know. So I'm sure there'll be a lot, it'll be competitive. That's really what I'm saying to you. The last time, I knew there was an interest in community centres, but I didn't think there was 75 million worth of applications came in. It was unbelievable the last time. And it's the right thing for us to be doing, to help communities, because there's volunteers out there and they're shaking buckets and they're trying to raise money and they're holding all sorts of events. And we want to help them. And so I wish Newcastle well. I'll be launching it in March. And what I'd say, both to Newcastle and to other areas, get your application in. That's the most important thing. But I want applications that are, as they say, shovel ready. So thank you.
Thanks, Minister. Our next question.